In this video, I just wanted to talk a bit about essential oils, what makes them essential and whether they are really essential or if they're just a luxury. I was asked recently what makes them essential. Are they actually essential for us? And that's actually a really good question. And the answer really does depend on you. It depends on what you want, how you want to feel, and what you choose as a priority. So 10 years ago, back when I was a nursery nurse, the things that I prioritised after paying things like my bills and just general food shopping was cigarettes, alcohol and junk food, takeaways, that kind of thing, really healthy pizzas. And so the result of that was that I spent most of my time feeling groggy, I didn't sleep very well, I was constantly tired, I was irritable, I was unfit, overweight, and generally not a very healthy person. So I didn't really realise it at the time, but when you're in your 20s and you're young, you don't really care, do you? You don't think about the damage that you're actually doing to your body. So when I was thinking back about this, I realised at that time, my priorities for me were all the things that brought me ill health. I had a constant niggling cough, hacking cough really, every morning. From the cigarettes, I would spend my weekends just feeling sorry for myself, loading up on sugar and really unhealthy carbs to combat the hangovers. And it just really wasn't a very fun place to be. And I actually missed out on doing all the things that would have brought me joy. Things like weekends away, going on holiday and all those kinds of things, because I was prioritising things that were actually bringing me quite poor health. As I got into my 30s, I kind of had a realization that I was getting older and I needed to start taking better care of myself. By this point, I had already quit smoking. I've been quit just over 6 years now. And I stopped drinking alcohol. I'm pretty much teetotal these days. Don't really drink anything anymore. And I actually became more conscious of my body, how it looked, in the sense of how my skin looked. Was I getting extra wrinkles? I've noticed this one right here. But also how I felt. And so I started to replace things in my life, and I got rid of the alcohol and I got rid of all the fizzy drinks and sugary sodas and those kinds of things and swapped that for water. I swapped the junk food in my diet and the takeaways and pizzas and those kinds of things for fruits and veggies and fresh cooked meals. And I actually started to exercise more. I went to the gym, went out walking. At one point, I turned my spare room in my house into a gym and was using equipment at home, all sorts of things really to just be more active and feel better about myself. The cough disappeared after about maybe 6 months of quitting smoking. I got rid of the hacking cough that was continuous. My skin looked better. I had more energy. I slept better. And I was far less irritable than I had been before. And then more recently, I was introduced to essential oils. At that time, I didn't really know anything about them and never experienced them before, didn't really know much about what they did. So quite rightly, I thought they were just a bit of a luxury, not something I would particularly use every day, but was open to the idea of bringing them into my life. As I began to learn more about essential oils and doTERRA, I soon became to realise just how essential these essential oils are. doTERRA advocate for a healthy lifestyle. It's not just about using one oil to feel better or to treat a particular feeling or symptom or anything. It's actually about taking the best care of yourself so that you can feel energized, healthier, fitter, and just feel the best version of you. I've learned that taking care of my health, my body and my mind is something now that is a priority for me and should always have been. My focus is being on the best version of me, not just for myself, but for my husband, for my family, and for my businesses. I mean, imagine how it would feel for you to be bouncing out of bed in the morning instead of dragging yourself out of bed. Being able to play with your kids, still having the energy to do that at the end of a working day, being able to bring the best version of you into your work or your business. What results would that have, and what would that mean to you, to your business and to your family? So I now prioritise myself. I prioritise my health. I drink plenty of water. I get exercise into my day. I even make sure I make time for self-care, going to see a therapist and having massages and reflexology and things like that. and I use my essential oils daily for my physical health and for my emotional well-being too. I use supplements to get me all of the best nutrients that I need, the vitamins and minerals that are essential to us and our bodies working at their optimum level. And I also use digestive enzymes after my meals to aid my digestive function. I've also been learning about the damage that using toxins in our homes and on our bodies actually do. It's not just about what we put into our bodies in the terms of food and drink, but also what we put into our bodies by putting them on our bodies. So personal care products, things like face creams and shampoos and things like that. Most of them contain quite toxic chemicals, many of which have not actually been tested for their safety. So I've started to swap out a lot of those products to reduce the toxins that I'm putting into my body. And I now use essential oil products for my shampoo, my conditioner, face creams, and I make my own cleaning products as well. So out with the Cillit Bang and the Febreze, and in with green cleaning products made by myself using my essential oils. The result of all of that is that I am a much happier person. I am much more relaxed. I sleep much better. I generally feel better in myself. I have much more energy. I don't really get that afternoon slump during the day anymore. I do bounce out of bed in the morning. I am a morning person. I tend to be up and in the gym by 6:30 every day, when the gyms are open, that is. My skin's healthier, my hair's better. I have more focus, motivation, better mental clarity, all those kinds of things, and I really do feel amazing. So if recent weeks have taught us anything, it should be how taking care of ourselves and our bodies should be paramount to us. We should be making sure we make that a priority, whether that is by doing 5 minutes breathing exercises, going for a walk, getting that fresh air, eating properly, cutting out alcohol and sugars and those things that aren't very good for us, to help build our immunity, to get our bodies working at the best level that they can, so that we can fight off things that maybe come into our bodies, and germs and things that we might pick up from elsewhere, so that we can recover from that quite quickly and feel better. So when you are choosing essential oils and the lifestyle that doTERRA advocate for, you are prioritizing yourself and your health. So I suppose if you are doing that, would you consider that to be an essential or a luxury? So for me, essential oils will always be essential. So I hope that's helped a little bit to sort of give a bit of an insight into my experience so far. If you have any questions, please do get in touch.